All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to Apostle and Elders in New York, GMS. And salutations to you, Akim, that's teaching the truth, putting your lines on the line for it. My name is Maya Gala Bugatti with Chicago Branch of Great Millstone. All right, so right here, man, we have Sonetta, all right. And we have, right here, we have Lord Abba. And so, they brought this Professor Donna Maniche. I think that is pronounced her name. If I pronounce it wrong, just put on the comments. All right, so Lord Abba, man, he basically he's basically got his yeah, basically got his panties in a ruffle, man. That Sakari had defeated him on Sonnet about a year or 2 years ago, and the debate was, are the so-called Negroes America from the tribe of Moab, or the Salak from the nation of Moab, or for the nation, or from the Salak. I mean, the debate was whether the so-called Negroes in Americas were from the nation of Moab or from the nation of Israel. Okay, so that was about, and he lost the debate, and within that debate, he was asked, Lord, I was asked, where was Yahweh Shai a Canaanite? And he said, yeah. But he couldn't prove it. He couldn't provide no scripture. He couldn't provide no scripture, no historic history books that say that Yahweh Shai was a Canaanite. He couldn't do it. So ever since then, man, he had his panties in a ruffle for for us, the Israelites, man, because Sakari had defeated and embarrassed him, man. So right here he's scoffing at the 12 charge chart, saying he could destroy it, and you'll see when he asked his professor, you'll see later on, he gonna say, are the so-called Negro America are the Jews? You gonna see what she say, but then you'll see how cold how it is, what he gonna make her say, and also you gonna see what she say about the Edomites, man. It's hilarious, man. It's just you'll see. All right, play it. I hope y'all can see this clear and stuff. So
is the Cubans, Gad is the North American Indians, Reuben is the Seminole Indian. Like, I've read many of your blogs, and I've seen you break down the history based on the contemporaneous documentation, dealing with many of these names before. And to me,
what I'm trying to do is get rid of the anachronisms and the kind of fantastical view of, because you have people around the world now claiming to be, I'm talking about Britain people and people in the Middle East and people in, all over claiming to be Israelites.
Hold on, but those not the real. So the people, now the original British were Israelites, but the people today, so-called white people, the Edomites over there, those not the original British, all right? Because British mean covenant man, all right? Was another word saying there's like those not the original British out there. You get our people in there, in Britain, go to Britain, they go to dark, some dark skin, some got bleached out, man. Like like my clan over there, the Black Whales. Now they kept basically having sex with Edomite women. They got light. Only thing retained dark is their dark hair and their dark eyes. That's basically it, man. All right, but they still Israelites, because their father's bloodline go back to Israel, And so, all right, and you got Israel scattered all the earth, Deuteronomy, our people scattered all the earth, Deuteronomy 4:27. All right. So yeah, you're gonna have people, you have a lot of people falsely saying that Israel. You got people legitimately can say that Israel because they fit the curses. All right, they got the historic, and it lines up. They fit the curses according to the Bible, and the history. The history also lines up with the Bible. All right, so Israel not a small group. You know,
and are a real people. They're not, people all over the world. They were people located in this small
she
area.
messed up. Could you read Hosea chapter 1, verse 10 and 11? Tell you Israel's like the sand of the sea. You can't be like the sand of the sea as a small people. All right. So Israel is all over the world, man. All right. The Israelites are the majority of people on the earth, man. All right. Because a lot of Israelite men within our world had sex with various women. And then among themselves, they multiplied, man. All right. Well, you think years ago, Bill O'Reilly was complaining about the tribe of Judah, so-called Negroes, having babies out of wedlock. Since they had no damn, since they having babies out of wedlock, man. All right. Sex is marriage. All right. You go down there, Brazil, that's Judah too. All right. Those so-called Negroes came on those ships over there, that's Judah. Indigenous people, that's Asher, man. All right. So this lady, she don't know man, let me get this, man, while I'm on this. All right. Bring the scripture out about her. 1 Corinthians. All right. 1 Corinthians chapter 1, verse get this. 1 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 18. For preaching the cross is to them that perish foolish, right? So this is foolish to Lord Abba and the rest of these scoffers. On that, ours are scoffers, man. All right, he said, but unto us, which I say is the power of the Most High. For it's written, I will destroy the wisdom of the wise and will bring nothing to understanding of the prudent. Where is the wise? Where is the scribe? Where is the disputer of this world? Have not the Most High made foolish wisdom world right, man? All right. So this education system of this world is foolish, man. And they bring up all this and everything. This woman don't know. Now, some things she knows, she talking about some things she don't, man. All right, but she don't got the truth like we do, man. All right. So the Most High gonna destroy our knowledge, man. Watch what she gonna say. Watch the Most High gonna make us say. All right.
Of Southwest Arabia. Okay, they're still there. Well, I shouldn't say that because most of them have been mixed with the other people by now, but there are still people, the Benu Yam, for example, who are still there, and also many of these names that were in Southwest Arabia are in Ethiopia now and in Africa, West Africa. Like, for example, I talked about the Songhai or Sagai, who further north were called Sagai, and that was the ancestor of the Berbers. Okay, you have the Ginawan or Janawa, and their ancestor was Juhana, and that word is connected to the word Gihon. Okay, so the people that were called Gihon named that river in ancient Yemen. But I trace all these different names. Samin or still Samian. But the important thing is these names are in inscriptions over there as well. Ancient inscriptions of ancient South Arabia, many centuries BC. So that's what.
So basically, if that 12 tribes chart holds up, and certain tribes are Cubans and Puerto Ricans, etc., it would be fitting that they inscribe their ancestry in some form of record in these places, right? Because you're not just going to forget the memory of these things if one group can claim that they can trace it.
Yeah, first of all, I mean, people in America, black people in America, are a mixture of different African tribes. I mean, mostly from West Africa and Central and Southern Africa, but mainly West Africa, including, the people in the Sahel and Sahara, extending up to Mauritania. The same thing with the people that were brought into Cuba who mixed with the Native Americans there. Because Cubans, Puerto Ricans, they're a mixture of Native Americans, Spaniards, Africans, different people.
All right, so it's getting the part what she gonna say about the so-called Negroes. It's coming up, but we'll hit this point. No such thing as because they trying to allude they're mixed people. No such thing mixed, man. You are the seed of your father. All right. In Cuba, if a Judite come down there and has sex with an indigenous woman who was from Manasseh, that child is a Judite. Now the reverse, if a Judite woman come to the island of Cuba, all right, and she get pregnant by an indigenous man from Cuba, which is from the tribe of Manasseh, that child is a Manassite from the tribe of Manasseh. Just plain and simple, man. Numbers chapter 1, verse 18. All right. Let me continue this.
All right. Next than we are. Same thing in Guatemala. You don't even have any. You have some, African, but mainly people that have been there 10,000 years and have very little to do with Israelites and all those people. Same thing. I mean, I know people are saying something about the Moors believing.
Has very little. You said it's a Hebrew scriptures in there, man. All right, like come on. All right. Hey, but I said Most High control her mouth. All right, that's how powerful the Most High is, man. She in denial, but then she say she say it is. All right. All right. Let me get. Let me see. All right. Proverbs chapter. Well, you know what? I'm gonna say that. I'm just gonna play what she say. Oh damn! I'm lost. Okay, here you go, right here. Facing day. All right.
Some Chinese and all this, all these people, these black people, did enter the America. Several of them did enter the Americas. And you do find Hebrew and or Phoenician inscriptions in different parts of the Americas. But
wait a minute, but I thought she said that indigenous people had nothing to do with it, man. Now she said black people, all right, but all right, like I said, she don't know what we know, all right. So we know that the 10 tribes came over here to the America according to 2nd Ezra chapter 13, 39 to 48. All right, and there's no such thing as black or African, man. All right, nobody in this world is color of the background, the screen, the black background. We were brown skinned people, man. All right. The African is named after Edomite. All right. Africanus who conquered, the northern part of Africa. All right. All right. And that word Africanus, because Greek can come from Greek, and Roman come from the same language family. All right, you trace it back to Greek. It means without cold, hot. All right, so all right, those bad words. All right, put on us by Esau. All right, and, black was put on us in this 17th century, man. The Israelites in North America, including the Trapegas, so-called northern Native Americans, and the Seminole, so-called Seminole Indians, the tribe of Reuben. Right.
The Negroes are Judah, even though it's interesting that they said that because there is a group, Berry themselves, are supposed to claim descent from, like I said, the Sagai or Sakai, as it's called in the Bible, in Chronicles and Nehemiah. So the Songhai, yes, they claim to be Jews. You do have other people among the Akans and the Igbo that claim to be Jews, and they seem to have names of ancient peoples mentioned in the Torah. So, but the important part is that you have archaeological evidence of movement from Southern Arabia into the Horn in the ancient period and across into what was called Libya or the Maghreb. So that's why you have, when I talked about the C group, some of those people might have even been, later people that came in originally from the East. So the Fulani, the Takruri, all those people have traditions of, having come from the East. The Wadabi are different than the Takruri. They're, those are, I was telling you before, the nomadic or pastoralist people were called.
All right, so you just said those tribes that brought over here, they came from the east. Fulani is one of them, man. All right. So you got another thing that and this from a right here, Jewish virtual library. All right, it was just by the Jews. All right, so let me get you right here. Where it talked about the slaves in Malta. Who were they enslaving? All right. Let me see. All right, so right here. It says in 1567, large number of Jews escaping to Levant from the persecution of Pius V fell victim to the Knights. Many of the victims sank like lead to the depths of the sea before the fury attack. Many others were imprisoned in mossy dungeons at the time of desolation, writes chronicler. It was not only those who went down to the sea in ships over the shadow hung of the Marano crypto Jews, Anakana, who fell victim to fanaticism of Paul VI. 38 who eluded the stake were sent in chains to the galleys of Malta, though they managed to escape the way. All right. It said after arriving in Malta, the captives were only at the beginning of their troubles. A very graphic account conditions given to English traveler Philip Skipton, who visited the spot in 1663. It said the slave prison in Fair Square building close to around, but mostly of the slaves in Malta obliged to lodge every night. And Malta's over there by Africa, the island of West Africa. It said until there be about Ave Maritime, they have several sorts of trades as barbers, tailors. All right. There are about 2,000 that belong to the order, most which were now abroad in galleys, and there were about 300 who were servants to private persons. This being an island difficult to escape out of, they wear only an iron ring or footlock. Those are servant lodge in the master houses. When the galleys are at home, now last nights in prison, Jews, Moors, and Turks are made slaves here. All right, these are number Israelites, man. The Turks number Moors. Moors are Israelites. All right, because that book I was that name book strange. Here's the one page 1 to 3. It said Moors, Turks, and Jews were brought as slaves in 17th century America. All right. It says Turks are made slaves here and are publicly sold in a market. That's Deuteronomy 28, man. All right. Should be bondmen and bondwomen. All right. It says a stout fellow may be bought if he is an inferior or for 120, 160 Scotty a month. The Jews are distinguished from the rest by a little piece of yellow cloth on their hats and caps. We saw a rich Jew who was taken about a year before, who was sold in the market. That morning we visit prison 400 Scuddy. And supposing himself free by reason of passport he had from Venice, he struck the merchant that brought him. All right, so you fight him. Whereupon he would presently sent hither his beard and his head was shaven off. All right, so he shaved all his manhood. All right, it said a great chain clapped on his legs. All right, on his legs, man. All right, this part occurred during 28-23, man. You should put brass around your ankles and stuff, man. All right. I mean, a butcher, but basically, that's double folded, that scripture. All right. It says Bastino with 50 blows. it says ransom. All right, so I'm gonna go down there. And you'll see what it says. It says the mechanism of the release was not always simple. The Jew was rarely rich as he reputed to be, but his reputation with wealth was great. Specifically, was where he was least known. All right, right. It said Deuteronomy 28:6. It said, no man shall buy you. Ain't nobody gonna save you, right? It said the usual price of a slave was tended, therefore to disappear whenever a Jew was concerned. He was wroth, not his value, but whether could be extorted from his brethren, ransomed, degenerate into blackmail. 15th century earlier, the rabbis of Samoa had realized that this was a case in which it was necessary to turn for once a deaf ear to suffer, at least a premium to be put on enslaving Jews. They ordained according that no captive be ransomed for more than his economic value. This was the rule to obey, which was hard for Jews. Compassionate sons of compassionate sire. Generally, the price paid for the Jew was higher by far that of a Muslim. All right. On occasion, the Jews were mercilessly exploited. All right. All right. So there you go, man. All right. So what do you think they did to the Israelites, man? For these Jews, man? All right, they sold them wherever they take them, man. All right. Particularly over here, the Americas. All right. All right, and elsewhere, man. All right, so there's nothing you could do against this truth. Lord Abba, man. All right. It says right here, 2 Corinthians 13:8. It says, "For we can do nothing against the truth, but for the truth." Right. So the more you talk about the Israelites, the more you scoff Lord Abba, man. The more we gonna grow. All right. God think he gonna take down can't take down the truth, man. All right. Now what should you say about Esau later on?
Shimron, and their client tribe, the vassal tribes, were often called Hemron. So that's where you get this myth of Ham, Shem.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What about, because another claim, and I brought you on here because I wanted you to teach. I wanted you to get into your, as we say in the streets, I want you to get into your bag, right? Your information, because people need to know the other side of the scholarship, or at least the scholarship that they're not familiar with, so that we could begin building bridges instead of constantly just tearing each other down and going at each other. But I also wanted to touch on some things that are prevalent within certain groups that claim to be conscious in the conscious community. So what is your history tell you about Esau or Edom? Are they the white man as the Hebrew Israelites claim?
The Edomites are not white men. There's no white men mentioned in Genesis. None. So, as I've said, the people of Noah, according to Islam even, or the Hadiths, were the people that worship Suwa and the South Arabian deities. Those are the only folk of Noah, knew, because the people in the Nile Valley and the people in Arabia were the same at that time. So the people of Nu, that story of the Ark of Nu, is this, they had that in Arabia. There was no disconnect. There was a whole.
All right, so there you go, man. All right, just like Eldar said, we have a show called, I'm just going to use this substitute word, Negroes Say the Darnest Things, and this one of them, man. All right. So, she's saying that Esau's not the so-called white man. All right. So, he's not white, man. He's red. All right. He's red. He got translucent skin. It's showing his flesh and blood. We get off a red color in various shades of red. Okay. That's why he called Edom one red. And Esau means wasted away is he. All right. Ashawa. Wasted away is he. All right. He's not white like Abba's shirt, man. All right. And then if you If you go to the Strong's Hebrew, all right, because if you look up Esau in Genesis 25, it'll say Harry, then it'll say, then another strong corners number is gonna say to work. All right, but hey, I did a video about a year or 2 years ago, tracing down Esau. All right, Ashash, Ashash. All right, Ashash. All right, Ashash. All right, Ashash. All right, right there. All right, Ashash. All right, so right here, Ashash. All right, so that's word the word. All right, was the part? It said what? My eye has wasted away. All right, so it's part of Esau name, Ashawa, wasted. All right, to waste away. All right, Strong's number 6244. All right, and you can see right here they use different examples. One in Psalms 6 and 7, Psalms 31 and 9, Psalms 31 and 10. All right, it says, well, Psalms 31 and 10, my body had wasted away, my bones are consumed, my strength will waste away. So Ashab means wasted away, man. All right, then right here it said brown driver bids, wasted away, compare Assyrian Arabic, moth weren't eat of moth. Demanta, according to these and the others, Demanta will probably be moth eaten. All right, so Asha means wasted away, man. All right, Ashawa means wasted away. Esau means wasted away, man. All right. If you, matter of fact, if you look at let me get this Moses, good example of that. Moses hand turned white. All right, so we all know that, you know, in white is a leopard. You know, it's game trans. If you look at this, man, look at the hand right here. Okay. All right. His skin, the pigmentation skin is wasted away. It's being consumed, man. All right, it's wasting away. He's losing pigmentation, man. All right, and they'll go, you know, just another example. This is how his hand will look. It's going to look in a few years like that. It's a different hand, but that's how his hand's going to look. All right, you go. Let me see. Oh, this guy. All right, you see right here. All right, so when Esau was born, all right, he had this right here with his hand and this less pigmentation face. He give off a reddish color. That's why he came out red. Look, man, his skin was translucent, showing the flesh and blood. He didn't have that brown right there in that spot right there. He had that brown like his brother Jacob, man. All right, so there's nothing you could do against this truth, man. You know, you could try this and try this, you know, this and that, man. Vocab alone. Then you got Lord Abba and the rest of these people, man. Got a professor there. It'll show you, man, at college. You go to college, get all those degrees, everything, man. You still don't know nothing, man. You just a, you know, just a smart dummy, man. All right, so, you know, this is it. So, shalom.